and see how that feedback is. But make it a Bitcoin marathon. Don't make it like,
Yes,
make
that's a
everybody
good point.
everybody have a Bitcoin marathon. Don't have like AAA insurance marathon. Like, no, it's the Bitcoin marathon. And if they want half marathon or Bitcoin ultra marathon, Bitcoin trail run, and if they want to sponsor, yeah. And then, nowadays, Fernando, we learned so much. We're like, here's the deal. We're going to have one sponsor. You're going to pay for all of it, including the 20% event management fee. And if you don't like that, then there's other Bitcoin companies that do. Like, we're not doing this gold, bronze, silver. This guy wants his logo here, and this doesn't work with our brand if that company's next to the chips guy and the coffee guy. And like, no. If it's too expensive, then you use your exchange and your partners and see who you want to have at your Bitcoin marathon. And that's kind of our approach.
So hello, I am the Bitcoin Libertarian. Our guest today is Jimmy Kostro. Jimmy is the driving force behind Asia's fastest growing Bitcoin hub in Chiang Mai, Thailand. As the founder of the Bitcoin Learning Center, Jimmy has turned a vibrant co-working space into a daily beacon for education, events, and orange peeling, hosting everything from weekly Thai language Bitcoin podcasts that reach over 2,000 listeners a day to packed meetup that spill into the streets. He's not just talking the talk, he's running the run literally. Fresh off completing his first ultra marathon with 2,400 meters of elevation gain in just over 9 hours. Jimmy embodies the run for freedom ethos, blending physical endurance with financial sovereignty. From challenging fiat's grip on global energy markets to plotting an international Bitcoin school, Jimmy's on that front line that making Bitcoin more than money, it's a movement. Today we will talk about his community, Chiang Mai Half Marathon, and other projects they are doing to orange peel the people. Jimmy, welcome.
Wow. I mean, just such a relevant, updated, recent introduction. So
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to have you again today. I think that you are with your computer. It's not going to be cutting in the middle, so we can have a proper conversation.
Fully charged to go as long as you'd like.
Excellent. So let's repeat to the audience, because the audience always is renewing. The first question that I did last time, that is, how were you orange pilled?
I was orange pilled by a series of touch points in my life that basically was from all the way back before Bitcoin in 2008. I remember not paying some like IRS bill that I did not receive. I was like in between different apartments. I was buying a house, and one day my bank account was locked. So this is weird. So I realized that by missing a payment that they could cut your bank account. This was one touch point in my early time. Started traveling in 2017. Right before I started traveling in 2017, a friend of mine had told me about this new kind of digital stock market, and so I just got pretty excited. I put a few $1,000 on like the top 10, and then a week or something later, I was playing poker at a bar. I wake up in the morning. My brother's like, that coin you have is worth like 10 times more than you put into it. So this was kind of like my journey, but I had touch points along the way. I thought in the beginning, the goal was to find the next Bitcoin. When I got in 2017, this was just after the block size wars, and I wasn't really sure what the objective or the goal was. So I got in through the casino, and then I started looking into, what is this? This is fascinating. This is interesting. And then before you know it, I started traveling that same year. And then another touch point is like these currency conversions and like, why does this cost something here and there and everything? So it all collided. And so I got orange pilled from a number of different sources.
Excellent. And since when are you living in Thailand?
It'll be 4 years in January.
4 years in jail. So I left Thailand, and after that you come. It's gonna be 6 years since I left. I left Thailand, never come back. I always need to come back, but yes. And how did you start the hub in Chiang Mai?
Well, it first started as a place to have our nonprofit, which was providing scholarships and English teachers and education to remote hill tribes. If you don't know what remote hill tribes are, you do, Fernando, but outside of the city, where like pretty much the edge of the grid, there's people that live between the borders that call the hill tribes. And there's like over 1 million people between Burma and Thailand on the border. So we wanted to help them. And before we became the Bitcoin Learning Center, we were helping with scholarships, building bathrooms, helping build their churches, helping bring Wi-Fi to different villages, uh, kitchens. We built a solar system. We did all these cool things. And then we would find the strongest students in many of the different villages. And then we would give them an opportunity, come down to the city. We'd help them with accommodation, basic food costs, basic living cost, and their tuition.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I remember you talk about that in our past episode. How did you start? How did you um, help the people outside the city? So, if you want, I will be uploading, giving the link here when I update this and I upload to YouTube. So, I remember last time that we talked, that was a short conversation because your phone ran out of battery. You were in Singapore, so happy we could do this. You were about to organize the marathon, the half marathon in Chiang Mai.
Yes.
How was the experience? How many people participated? Any interesting story you want to talk about that?
It's incredible. So we had spoke in early September. Yeah, I was in between places and I didn't have enough batteries. Thank you for that. So we only had maybe half the general time to speak. This is just after Jeff Booth visited the site, the building. Gladstein had came by, Obi from Fetty, Miles Suter from Block. So like we had just had quite like some bigger names in Bitcoin visit our little place in Chiang Mai. And honestly, Fernando, not a lot of people know what we do. Like they don't. Like I don't know. I tweet some stuff. I don't click. We just work. So it's surprising, and it's gotten so much bigger than people understand. Every day we have 3 or 4 people that visit every day. So that's 700, 1,000 people a year visiting.
Yeah.
Today there was 4 or 5 people. It's just totally nuts in a good way, right? But there's challenges like getting things done. Neo, who's our international manager, he like has all this time carved out time to take them around, get to know them, sit with them, learn about them. It's part of the process of making people feel welcome. Anyway, yeah, and since the marathon, it's been nonstop. Like I actually have to work at a cafe somewhere like down the street because I can't get anything done at the Bitcoin building. It's a really wonderful oxymoron situation. So the marathon, we got a report back from our marketing company that we used at the time. And it was like a 7 or 8 month workup for the Bitcoin half marathon through promotion. As you know, living in Thailand, most Thai people use Facebook. It's dominant here. Like 92% of everyone uses it. So there was a big marketing campaign over there, TikTok, YouTube. And we saw the report that we had 13 million impressions. And I was like, man, this is really, really powerful. And it's because everything has weights. Like we work with the local universities and we're getting Bitcoin into academia. accredited courses have a certain weight. A meetup has a certain weight. Um, a seminar or a conference has a certain weight to it. All these different things and touch points have a different weight. And so when I say like exposure and awareness through a sporting event, like when I saw these numbers come back, I'm like, okay, that weight might be low, but the reach is so massive. And then like the intersection of sports makes sense because like it amplifies visibility through passion driven communities, like real world action. It aligns like strengths, endurance, like perseverance. There's a lot of like commonalities between Bitcoiners and sports. And so, yeah, so this event happened and it was just, the feedback was great for our first time, overwhelmingly positive. People are like, what's next? And I'm like, what's next? All right. The sports, we had 3,000 people running in orange Bitcoin shirts. I don't know if I have any around here. We have the medals. Holy, we have a Bitcoin medal.
Amazing. Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah. Amazing.
It's quite heavy. So listen, I mean, this was it. So many people, what's Bitcoin? Tell me about it. Non-Bitcoiners meeting Bitcoiners, getting to see that we're not like a crazy, maybe we are, but like, we're not
Yeah,
like
maybe we are.
we are. So it was just really great feedback from everyone. And we had like looked at it and we said, listen, we knew that there was a lot of interest in this between like exchanges, and Tether was our main sponsor. And we're like, well, we have to do something. They already wanted to secure the further year. We're like, okay. But then we had to come up with something that's just as great for the other people that want to play. So we're like, what's going on with ultra marathon? And I had just started running 2 years ago. What's going on with this ultra marathon stuff? So, and this trail running thing. And this is where we just blew the door wide open. Just 2 weeks ago, we launched the world's first Bitcoin trail run in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And here's a scenic area. It's like blowing up with this sport, with trail running and ultra running in the mountains and Soi Mak, like super beautiful, and the weather and everything just collides beautifully. And just through our organic community, because there's over 250 of us in the Bitcoin community in Chiang Mai alone, no marketing effort. We sold, our goal was 500 500 slots. Binance wanted to come in for like 50% of it, and it sold out in 10 days. We had to keep it open longer than the 500 because we realized Thai people don't get paid until the last day of the month. And a lot of people didn't get an opportunity to register. So we kept it open until yesterday at noon. It hit 600 people. We launched it like the 15th of November. And now we have a whole nother event that is going to have massive exposure and awareness. We just met today with the top race organizer for a professional ultra, and these things cost like $150,000 to $200,000, just so you have a general idea. But an ultra is like 48 hours of hardcore awareness and exposure and media attention and endurance and grit, and so it's a little more intense than a marathon. So we found this collision between sports and Bitcoin, and now we're acting as an event management partner, and
Nice.
we're actually able to do, if an event managing partner charges 20% 25% for their event managing, well, wait a minute, we started recognizing this could be a source to fund our Bitcoin Learning Center. So, and now we've put this together. We have all these meetings with the potential people, and we have a track record now. And now we have our second race coming up. So everything's kind of coming together. But yeah, that's kind of one of the unique things that spiraled from having the Bitcoin half marathon.
Yeah, it's amazing because I get your point when you said like sports get people and many people that probably they don't even know what is Bitcoin. But I think that I was because I was about to run a half marathon here in Hong Kong, but then I had to travel and I couldn't. But I think that through this, when I registered, I think that they invited me to the one in Chiang Mai. Don't remember. And but yes, sports bring a lot of people that probably they are not interested in Bitcoin, but they say, okay, there is a half marathon now that running is so viral around the world. I see it here in Hong Kong. Running is very popular. The trail running is super popular because, as you know, Hong Kong has a lot of mountains, has a lot of parks, and the weather is good, especially in this time of the year where the temperature is around 15 degrees, 17 degrees. That is a really good temperature to run an ultra marathon or a marathon. In fact, I think in February is the famous marathon of Hong Kong. And I think that all of these caught the attention of people and go and run. And then they start learning about Bitcoin. And when is going to be the ultra marathon?
So we just talked today. We had a meeting about it possibly being in September or December. But what we also recognized was there was like tons of people that did their own TikTok, YouTube, non-Bitcoiners. And like
That's the point.
out of 3,000 runners, and they each got their social media and they're proud of their accomplishment and they're sharing their photos and videos, that reach wasn't even included in the paid marketing. So like what was the organic reach and like what is the exposure and the connections, the real world proof, the proof of work, like the generosity by Bitcoiners because we share a lot of these really like hardworking, transparent values that it makes it all real. And it's an opportunity to bring Bitcoin out of the conference room, out of the conference halls, and into the streets where we make it physical and we show people who we are. And it's just such a unique opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing because, as you said, all the paid advertising. Then after the marathon, of course, when you go to a race, everyone taking pictures. You take picture of your medal. You take picture with your friends that you go to run, and it gets more viral than even the paid advertising. And any people who came, because you told me that there was gonna be some spots where people can go and ask questions about Bitcoin. Any people that came for the marathon and they start asking questions about Bitcoin?
Absolutely. Definitely. A couple of things. We had like, what do we call it? Pop-up market. We had to choose certain words because of the local laws or the regulation. They wanted Bitcoin pop-up market. We couldn't call it like a whatever. So yeah, it had like an information area and it had like 50 Thai Bitcoiners just eager to help and not be like overwhelming. And they're playing music, and we were allowed to use Lightning. Lightning was accepted at like 50 of the stalls. People were onboarding people to Wallet of Satoshi. That's a common thing here. And everyone was asking tons of questions, like lots of new faces interacting and them showing them how to use Lightning. And then all of the merchants that didn't want to hold the Bitcoin at the end of the day, they would just come to one of us and get paid out. And everyone's like, I get KYC free Bitcoin. I get to help educate. And, it was just another touch point because we couldn't just like plug them into Bitcoin and be like, you want to keep this. So that was one major thing. And then we also had an incentive. We gave free photos. And usually it's like $20 US for your photos. You upload like a picture of yourself and then the AI pulls like 50 photos. But we figured if we could just give everybody the free photos, right? Like pay $3,000, whatever it is for the camera people, then this would encourage people more to join, to share, and to, bring more greater awareness and exposure to Bitcoin.
Yes, I think that I liked your idea of like getting like teaching the merchants to get paid in Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, just buy their Bitcoin because, of course, this is something that is, for example, for a merchant here in Hong Kong, a shop owner, they can hold the Bitcoin, but I know that Thai people probably they need to use this money to buy the groceries to operate the next day, so they cannot hold the Bitcoin, and it's a good way to again I was talking with the other day in a podcast. I don't remember with who, but we cannot force people to use Bitcoin. We cannot force, but what we can do is to pick up their hands and put in front of the rabbit hole and tell them, you need to cross the rabbit hole for this, and this reason. And if you cross, it's up to you. And how deep you want to go is up to you. And which road of the rabbit hole, which hole you want to go, is up to you. And during the race, there were only Thais, or there were people from other countries coming to run. I bet many Hong Kongers were there.
We had 42 nations join. 42 nations.
Nice.
And people came to the Bitcoin Learning Center just this last week. They're like, hey, I was the only Polish guy there. I saw, like something like that. I was like, cool, what'd you think? Like, they're like, this is amazing. And then, now it's like, I met people at the race. They're like, hey, I went to the Bitcoin Learning Center. And there was, for most of the time, like I knew who would go there. Like I would see them and meet them. And now I was like, oh man, oh wow, what'd you think? They're like, oh, I went to the Code Orange, developers on the third floor, and there was 50 people. I'm like, how was it? Like, it's gotten so much bigger than just us. It's kind of taken a shape of its own, and adding the sports element. Like, listen, our payroll is like 60,000, just payroll is for 5 people in Thailand. That's just what it is, comes out to. Everyone's very generous that works here because they want to work in Bitcoin. They're educated. They speak English. And we found a way through having these the 2 trail runs, an ultra, and a marathon that covers our costs. And like forever in Bitcoin education, you're trying to find a way, how can we make money, not rely on grants, not rely on donations, what is the way? And so we just naturally said, we must forge a way through this and build this because it could fund us too. And it could open up so many more doors.
Yes, and also you don't have to sell your soul to the devil, because you know that in the Bitcoin community, as the projects are not for profit, most of the profit there is not the same amount of money or sponsors that in the shitcoin community. If you, for example, I was checking the pictures of in Buenos Aires, there was La BitConf, and one week after was a shitcoin conference, a Dev Connect. And in the Dev Connect, they were giving free food, free drinks, and most of the tickets were free. So, and if you're running an educational program or project as you are doing, you need to pay the people, you need to pay salaries, you need to pay rent, you need to pay internet, and it's difficult to generate money. Besides, okay, I need to get a sponsorship from, I don't know, some shitcoin casino or whatever, that they have the money, but you find a way. And do you think that this can be can be like replicated in other areas?
Definitely.
And probably in the future create like a circuit of Bitcoin marathons or whatever?
Like there's this huge Bitcoin runners community. Listen,
Yeah.
I fucking loathe running, dude. I do not like to run, but I do it because I'm trying to do something hard, and I want to get through it. Like, I don't like waking up early and practicing and doing this stuff, but there's this running community, and they're really connected with Fran Finney, Hal's wife. And they're like, dude, who are you? Like, what's going on in Asia? I'm like, I don't know. We just thought, hey, like, attach Bitcoin to sports, bring awareness and exposure. And they're like, yeah, but like, we can't even get 1,000 runners. Like if we just like tried, and paid marketing. So I'm like, I said, I guess it's like the Goldilocks thing, the energy, the synergy, the location, everything. But I think like I told those guys, I told you, we're building out a playbook, like literally a PDF that's like, start here, do this, do that, do this. This is what it generally costs. Find some sponsors. It doesn't have to be in the Bitcoin sphere. I know there's only a
Yeah, of
few
course.
options, um, and see how that feedback is. But make it a Bitcoin marathon. Don't make it like,
Yes,
you know, make it
that's a
everybody
good point.
have a Bitcoin marathon. Don't have like triple A insurance marathon. Like, no, it's the Bitcoin marathon. And if they want half marathon or Bitcoin ultra marathon, Bitcoin trail run, and if they want to sponsor, yeah. And then, nowadays, Fernando, we learned so much. We're like, here's the deal. We're going to have one sponsor. You're going to pay for all of it, including the 20% fee, event management fee. And if you don't like that, then there's other Bitcoin companies that do. Like we're not doing this gold, bronze, silver. This
Yes.
guy wants his logo here, and this doesn't work with our brand. If that company's next to the chips guy and the coffee guy, and like, no. If it's too expensive, then you use your exchange and your partners and see who you want to have at your Bitcoin marathon. And that's kind of our
Yes.
approach.
Yeah, it's good because again, as I was telling you, I think that now the running is a very popular sport around the world. Everywhere in the world, there are running clubs, there are marathons. I have a lot of friends in Argentina that are into running, um, here in Hong Kong as well. And I think that if you have a playbook and everyone in a city, in every city of the world, there are Bitcoiners, I'm sure. And all of the Bitcoiners, we want to raise awareness or teach Bitcoin or talk about Bitcoin. And what better to talk about Bitcoin? Either you can do it through sports or through food, but through sports is amazing. And when you were there doing this, I was thinking, okay, I can do this in Hong Kong. It's not with a proper playbook. Plus, the marathon, the official marathon in Hong Kong, is organized by Standard Chartered, the bank. So it's gonna be. It would be amazing if we have another one, but the Bitcoin marathon.
See, there's also like everyone's coming eventually. So you're just positioning it perfectly. Like every bank's coming, every company's coming. They're going to want to attach and you being in charge of it in Hong Kong, your main job is to be the filter. You don't want any shit coins. Everybody wants to give you free money. And in the fiat world, people take it. But we've got a purpose. We got principle. We've got a big future ahead of us. And running, listen, I want to see what this all looks like in 10 years. If I could get healthy and lead by example and
Yes,
get to see how Bitcoin develops over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years and still be really healthy to be part of it, these are all wins.
yes, it's another win. And again, are you planning to repeat the marathon, the same marathon next year in Chiang Mai?
Yes, we are. We already have locked up sponsors. Ready?
Excellent. But it's gonna be in the same dates, right? In early
Uh,
November.
yeah, this one, next year is November 22nd. The race calendar, listen, we're learning about race calendars and like this company's here and like the king's birthday, like weird stuff. And so we have a race organizer. We have Bitcoin companies that really want to be recognized through community, that want to represent themselves as more than just like a logo on the wall. They want to be connected to community. We've built a massive Bitcoin community here, and they get it. They see it. I don't want to sell people into like please be my sponsor. It's like, dude, we're the fastest growing Bitcoin company community in Asia. We've got like a super network that's exploding. If you're a Bitcoin company and you want to play, we're doing some sports. Let's just figure it out. Before we even get a pitch deck together, people were like, yes, what do we got to sign? Well, I'm literally creating contracts before a pitch deck. Just it's just totally nuts. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And besides the marathon, I read that you started a podcast in Thai in your center. I remember that when we had our conversation, you were setting up the podcast studio in your center. So you started the Bitcoin podcast in Thai, right?
Well, it started in March. It started in March.
Oh, okay.
Because we have a physical Bitcoin building, Thai guys got together. They're like, you've got all this equipment, because we're always answering people's questions. Typically, I have like another mic when I'm at the office, but it's 7:30 today at night. And so they started it. So they're like, we should start a Thai podcast. So they started Thai podcast. It's been going weekly for, I guess, almost 8 months. And today they hit 5,000 subscribers. They have 50,000 watch hours, and over 2,000 people watch this Bitcoin education content every single day, 7 days a week. It might be the strongest thing that we do. Like, because the Bitcoin, it's called Bitcoin Chiang Mai podcast. Because they reach 2,000 people a day, and it's consistently been like that for the last 90 days. Before that, it was 1,500 and 1,000. This is like one of the glues that like people like find us through this way, and people find us through events now, and Google, and word of mouth now. You have 1,000 people that come here in a year, they go home. Then people come through the tracks, and it's just totally crazy. So the podcast is one of our strongest outlets right now, and it's consistent.
And the podcast is only in Thai language, or you have episodes in Thai, in episodes in English?
So we, a few months, maybe 6 months ago, we said, we learned early on that if you put an English speaking person on a Thai podcast, that's not what the audio, you understand. So we created Innovate Asia, like a podcast that like, I just have it so we could use the same equipment, our same producer, in-house producer, who does our other media and stuff. And then someone comes in, if they're interesting, we hit record, we publish it, we get a few hundred or a few thousand views. Great. Last week, so I did one a couple months ago, and I'm the host, and like, that's not kind of want someone to like take that job for me, because it's not exactly what I love to do. But I'm happy to do it when someone comes and I'm like, I want to talk to this guy. Some guy came here in a full orange, like you know how Cali is fully covered privacy?
I saw, yeah.
This guy comes in a full orange jumpsuit. Full orange. And he's captivated. It wasn't just that. He's got this like Bitcoin lottery project, and like he believes the world could have a more fairer lottery system through the Bitcoin hash and the Bitcoin blocks. And I'm like, I asked Neo, who's sitting next to me, he's our international manager. I'm like, could you call upstairs and see if we could record this guy downstairs tomorrow? And we recorded it, dude. It's just remarkable who comes to our places, and like, it's great.
And the guy came all in orange. Entered, closed the door in orange.
Well, the day before he came without it, and I got
okay. Because I would be crazy if I'm on there and come a guy fully in orange and say, okay, talking about that. And yeah, I saw something in your Twitter talking with him and talking about the podcast in Thai. Do you think that having the content material, a podcast in the native language is good for the adoption, is better than doing in English. I think so, because I do
Wonderful.
my podcast in Spanish and has a lot of more of reach because of it's my mother language. And I think that is different and it's better if you're in Thailand to have a podcast in Thai, because I
Critical.
can say that there are not many.
You know, I'm in Abu Dhabi next week, and I'm speaking on I'm the moderator for one of the panels, and I'm literally going to say that how important it is to educate the local people in your native language. And like, if you're going to try to have a physical place or start a community, this media thing that you have is such a valuable tool. Like, I know there's some people say another guy in a Bitcoin podcast. We don't have enough, you know, and whether I'm in the Middle East, so if you're in Iran or Pakistan or Northern Africa, like, yes, you know, and you get to meet so many unique people. They get to find out your style. They see what cross pollinations can happen, or how they can help you, or how you can help them. I mean, like, this is like a must have. Is some type, find one of the first things in the community is find someone that's willing to be a host, they're willing to have a podcast, and get them compensated first, so you could have this consistent thing like you've built over years now, right? That Bitcoin Libertarian. And now look,
Yes.
the reach that you have.
Yes. I started with a podcast in 2023, and first of all was once a week. Then I got my YouTube channel banned, and but long story short, yes, I started seriously probably at the beginning of the year in Spanish, in English, and yeah, we are having a good reach, not the same reach as the Chiang Mai podcast has, but we are on the way. And yeah, as you said, there is no enough. Sometimes you said, "Oh, I'm starting a podcast," but you think that there are a lot. But any different podcaster has a style, and I think that the audience is enough for everyone. Most of people would like some. What I discovered, for example, in Spanish content, there is a lot of content of technical stuff. There is a lot of content of, okay, set up your node, set up your multi-sig, how to use this or that wallet, but there is no content for the newbies. There is no content for these people who is on the rabbit hole at the end, at the entrance, and they don't know what to do. So that's the content that we want to create, that I'm trying to create in Spanish, because all the entry level content are traders. So they teach about trading, and in the middle of the trading, shit coining. And to be honest, they are the guys who have the more audience. So we need to fight, and we need to try to teach the people. Of course, if you want to learn trading, it's okay. I respect you. But
Yeah.
Bitcoin is not about trading. Bitcoin is a totally different thing. So and I agree when you try. I have a friend here in Hong Kong that is working with Roxxon TV, and she creates content. She used to create like shitcoin content, but now she's learning a lot and she's doing a lot of Bitcoin stuff. And I was talking to her the other day, and she said, "Should I do some content in Cantonese or in Mandarin?" I say, "Yes, it's not should, you must,
You must.
because it's different. Even though here in Hong Kong people speak very good English, it's totally different if you listen something in your mother language, because the way to transmit the message, to give the message in your language is totally different, no matter the level of English you have.
For
It's
sure.
always going to be your second language. So that's the point. And the podcast is always the same host, or some people come set up the podcast and you
Always the
you
same
just
host.
give the.
It's Phi, our director. She's our Trojan horse because she's been in university as a teacher for 12 years. So I call her our Trojan horse because she's got the connections in the university. She's very likable, and she still has one foot in the door working part time. Her choice, she chooses to. It gives us access to academia and the students. She's the host. So You know, and I was mentioning the weights before of different things. Our staff today, for the first time, the producer was the guest. The deal was on the 5,000, around the 5,000 subscriber, that he would come on. And they made this deal like in July or something. And so we kind of joked around for a while, like, hey, looks like maybe January, like, and then here we are. And I asked some questions like, hey, how did it go? And she's like, man, over 8 months, a new guest every week, he's learned quite a bit about Bitcoin. So these weights, like our staff, Neo taking 1,000 people around the building, up and down, around every day almost now, and Eve, and like, and Kate, it's like they get this like super liquid injection of Bitcoin because it's so much Bitcoin. We have a Bitcoin meetup in town on Thursdays, and I've gone like twice in 3 years because when I wake up, it's 5 in the morning, by 6 in the morning, it's already Bitcoin all day until 5 or
Same.
then, and then you
Same
gotta,
here.
yeah. So people like, wait, why don't you ever go to the Bitcoin? I'm like, well, I live 30 minutes north, and that starts at 7, and it's like, and I do it all day, and it's crazy.
Yes, and also when you run a podcast or you do education and all this stuff, you learn a lot. That's the best way that I have for learning. I don't listen to many podcasts because as I'm hosting people now I'm doing daily. In Spanish, I'm doing daily. In English, I'm planning to do daily from next year. So and you learn a lot because you listen to a lot of. When you do a podcast, you listen more than you speak, and
Yeah.
when you listen, you learn a lot. So I'm talking about learning and education. What are the programs that Bitcoin Chiang Mai are running? You have the program at the university, but you also have programs in the center, in the educational center, or in the center
So
are more like meetups. Are
yeah, in Thai, it's way more frequent. So in addition to the podcast, they'll have like I'd say once a month, a little more than once a month, they'll have like a meetup, maybe every 3 weeks. It could be anywhere from 10 to 30 people get together. And this is just the Thai side. So just like imagine like 50% internet. There's 75% in Thai, and then 25% international. But for the internet, for the Thai side, there's just these meetups, and then we go to like we go to seminars in the university. We'll bring like Binance, we'll bring Tether, we'll bring the Bitcoin community leaders, we'll bring the different Bitcoin camps together. So like just having these one-off random, not really scalable, not really best use of time, um, like lessons, because everyone's so at a different part of the rainbow, or it's like we don't have like a structured school where 12 people come in every day. So we just pretty much go with like what the groups want to do and try to get a larger group, like 200 kids at the university. That feels like, days worth spending. And then whoever comes to us on the one by one, case by case, our staff knows priority is to help them. But honestly, most people are consuming the content from the podcast. And now we have our Bitcoin focused under introduction to digital assets education being accepted into the university for next semester, the digital side. The digital side meaning there's no physical teacher teaching every hour or about the curriculum. They first want to implement the online course. So this is the slower step. That's why when you mentioned my introduction today about like starting a Bitcoin school, I was like, God, I just said that like today. um, because I got a little frustrated that, I thought the goal was to get accredited Bitcoin courses in academia. Just like I kind of thought like, yeah. And I see the power of that. But then when you recognize how slow the academic institutions are in getting it going, it's a little bit discouraging for like a hard charger like me. So I'm like, all right, well, what is the criteria to open an international school and then teach like, through Bitcoin principles, a holistical education experience, and then teach the kids about basic finance and literally have an international school. And she kind of smiling and laughing because you need to have a Thai principle and all this stuff and all this stuff. So like, I have to ask myself, is this where I want to spend my energy? Is this the best use of time? Is it profitable? We have connections with Plan B network. So I just tossed it around out of necessity because I don't want to wait 2 or 3 years to get physical. I got a lineup of teachers that are ready to teach Bitcoin education. We already worked with Plan B to get all of their coursework offline. Like they work to get it online. We're like, oh no, we need it in PDF form. We need to chop it down. We need to make it into hours. And then we gave it to 2 universities on a silver platter, and they're like, deal, we'll take it. Miracle. But it sounded so good, but actually they want to start the online digital side of it first. Well, okay, we'll take it. So instead of having classes, we'll be able to give people education through that way. Or maybe your medium is reading, and we have we bought like 40 translated Bitcoin standard books. And then we have our pathway to Thai Bitcoin education camps or the places in Thailand. And then obviously we have our podcast, and then we have our seminars, our workshops, monthly and weekly. And that's just the Thai side.
Excellent. Putai dai?
But I got.
So am I.
Fernando
Yes.
said, can I speak Thai? I said I could speak a little bit.
Yeah, we say Putai dai is can you speak Thai, and Nit Noi Kap is a little bit. Yeah, I can speak a little bit too. And talking about the projects that are coming. I read on X that you are organizing the Bitcoin Christmas party in Chiang Mai. How is it gonna be?
Listen, I tell everybody, it's like we have capacity. We've got 4 floors, 3.5 floors, and we want to keep it comfortable, and we cater it, and we get nice food, and we want Bitcoiners to come together. But man, I mean, our master list is like 150 international people, and they're on Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram, Line, email, Twitter, Facebook. Like it's wide to reach them. We're growing, and and if we just put out like a message like you saw, we'll get like 50 people. We'll send it in our local groups, local Telegram or Facebook or Twitter or Nostr. Forget about Nostr. We'll get like 50 people. But if I sit down with Neo for like 2 or 3 days, like literally like fucking 20 hours, and then be like, all right, this guy's on Telegram, this guy, and hey, bro, how are you? And I'd literally say, we're having a Christmas party. Can you make it? Our reservation, our attendance hits capacity every single time. This is the first time that I'm like, I'm putting it out there. Neo's trying. I'm just not like, we used to like try to get a lot of people. Now it's like everything we do hits capacity. Everything we do sells out, and we don't have to put the effort that we used to. And that's because we did all of the effort in the early years. And now it's just like, and I'm like, and people are like, oh, you're just saying that's marketing. I'm like, the race is going to be sold out by noon today. If you want a fucking ticket, you got to sell or if you want to come to the meetup. And then like, I hate to tell people, sorry, we tried telling everybody 40 ways, but we can only fit 125 people in the building. So this is where you like, it's all good problems, Fernando. It's all good problems. But yeah, so we're having a great
Amazing.
it's going to be a great time. I didn't see the list yet. I heard just a couple people that I haven't seen in a while come, and it's great for them to see our development and see our growth. We just had the craziest thing. So for the marathon, imagine how many Bitcoiners are in town, right? If the building's at 125% capacity, 125 people capacity, what do? So when we we rented out the movie theater on October 31st, white paper day,
Yes.
Bitcoin, and we called it the Bitcoin white paper party. And we had 16 English speakers that live here that are Bitcoiners. And they all did these 10 to 12-minute TED Talks on stage in front of 350 Bitcoiners at the movie theater.
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
I love how your imagination to create things are amazing. It's all your imagination, or you have also a team that gives feedback with ideas.
It's definitely my crazy imagination because like they definitely say, "Are you serious?" And like, I think they stopped asking if I'm serious, and like now I gotta like curb it down and not go, not not get too wild. I do like to have limitations on things. Like I like that there's 350 seats. Like I don't like unlimited. I like to have that scarcity factor. Hey man, we're putting on a race of 1,000 people. At 1,000, we told you. It's not 1,001. Like, come on. And there's that scarcity drives people to interest and stuff. So so the movie theater, we paid like $5,000, right? And we had people come in from all over, and you could just do things in Thailand. And then the next day we rented it out, the movie theater, same spot, same place, same setup in the morning for all Thai people for a Thai mini conference to hear from, because when people come to town, you want to glue things together. So you got like an event, but you really want to, okay, so bit devs, the guys from Bangkok come up and they put on a bit devs every quarter. So I talked to Jim and he's like, hey, December 19th, I'm going to bring up my cohort from Human Rights Foundation, this and that. I'm like, perfect. We'll have our Christmas party the day before or the day after or the day during. So we always glue things together because as much as I like to think that there's a lot of us, there isn't enough of us. So you really want to take that energy and give people a reason to come.
Yes, yes, totally agree on that. And besides and now you can imagine that it's gonna be an orange Santa.
I think he's coming. He's on the list. I got to ask him. Like, I got to ask him if he wants to dress like that. But that'd be entertaining.
Amazing. And talking about besides the marathon, besides all the projects, any new projects that are you planning for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, just today we had the big meeting for the Bitcoin Ultra. This is a huge one. At the same time, in that it's an 8-month workup. So like, it's not about the event. I tell the team like the event's great, but it's all of the the things leading up to that. It's all of like not just like the hype, but like the preparation and making sure every interested person gets to, have a good experience along the way. So not only are we going to do the marathon again, which is enough for like a small team, but we'll be continuing the Bitcoin education podcast every single day, or every week, but it goes every day. Our formal education should start in this next semester. We're working with the city on more education at different arms of the government, wherever they'll let us in. And we're also having the ultra and the half marathon. These are two things. We're trying to convince the city to have it officiated so more international people come in. And we're having a secretive trail, another 500 people in April or May, because this one overbooked and we got a couple banks and people that want to play with us. And now we're like too cool to say no. So and that's another revenue stream. So we can make between $5,000 and $10,000 per trail. We can make between $15,000 and $30,000 per big one. So this this is this is 2026, and then most of the international people that come by, they already get it. They're already well into the Bitcoin journey. Very few are here to learn. Um, like a lot of them have been around a lot longer than me, and the international side's a lot different than the Thai side.
Excellent. And you never have you ever thought on organizing a conference, a Bitcoin conference in Chiang Mai?
We thought about it, but we have to think about the other Bitcoin camps too. There's a lot of Bitcoin communities too, and they did in 2024. They generously invited me, when they were just learning more about me. If they do it right, that could be a revenue source for them. And Bangkok's bigger playground, or Pattaya, they're thinking about having one. There's a couple of these treasury companies trying to get organized into it too. I don't know how everyone feels. But yeah, so we want to just be fair and keep our sports as our latest thing, and see how far we could take that, in addition to all of the other education stuff we have going on.
Excellent, excellent what you are doing. I love the energy. I love the idea. I love this thinking out of the box to bring people to Bitcoin, because as you mentioned, probably most of the people who ran the marathon, they didn't know what Bitcoin was, and now they have a medal with the logo of Bitcoin. And sometimes, as you were telling me how you were orange pill, by connecting dots and step by step, probably this was the first step of these people into the Bitcoin journey. So appreciate what you do, and I hope we can replicate around the world to bring sports and Bitcoin together, because there are two good things to have a better and wealthy and healthy life, right?
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
And to close, I think that I already asked you these questions when before you run out of battery, but I will ask you again. The first question is, how do you see the future of Bitcoin?
Tomorrow, I'm going to the Hill Tribes at 7 in the morning, and my producer said, could I kind of ask you some questions for a documentary? Because I'm putting on an informal tryouts run. And if the first, second, and third place, they win a little bit of money, they get to come to our formal the world's first Bitcoin trail run, right? And he said, how do you think this stuff? Why is it? And I said, I see a world where all of this is inevitable. Bitcoiners are going to help disadvantaged people, the people that are on the poverty line, that are affected the most and punished the most by inflation. They can't escape, and it's the hardest for them. They're the poorest. They buy the poorest quality things. These things break. They don't have opportunity. When I think of the future, I think on a Bitcoin standard, and I think of a world of abundance, and I think that all of this is inevitable. Yeah, there would be a Bitcoin education center in Thailand like this, because that's what the future should be. It's a more fair and equitable future. So I see it as a bright orange beacon of hope.
Excellent. And the last question is, if you had the chance to sit down with Satoshi Nakamoto, what would you ask, or what would you say to him, to her, or to them?
I would want to know how intentional it was, such as, was this more something you stumbled upon as a discovery, or you really intended for it to be what it is today?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
think
think so. Yeah.
that's me, just without, if I maybe took a few minutes and thought about that, I maybe have something.
No, but I think this is a good question. This is a good question because again, I think that we will never know. It was something that was created and evolved, or they really know that Bitcoin was going to arrive to the point that is today. So Shimi, thank you very much for your time. Anything else you want to add, and how people can contact you?
Just type in Bitcoin in Thailand or Bitcoin Chiang Mai. Come visit us, see it for real. Come to one of our events. If there's anything we can do to help you when you're in Thailand, even if it's non-Bitcoin related, just ask us. We're here to help. And, hopefully we get a chance to meet in person. And then I guess I can't wait to see you at the next one here in Asia, and also go to the Bitcoin Libertarian on YouTube.
Of course. So, Jimmy, again, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because we need more Jimmys around the world to spread the word of Satoshi. Again, Jimmy, thank you very much for your time.
Good man. Thank you, Fernando.
And thank you very much to everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media. We don't want money. We don't want Satoshi. The only way to help us is to make us grow the channel and reach more people, to give them the orange pill and to help in our task to paint orange the whole world. Share this episode with the people you love. Share this episode with the people you hate, because we must reach 8 billion people and give them the orange pill. See you in the next episode of our podcast. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember, we are all Satoshi. And that's all for today. If you like the episode, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media. Our X account is the Bitcoin _. Our YouTube channel is the Libertarian BTC. Our YouTube channel in Spanish is Libertarian BTC ESP. Our Patreon, the Bitcoin Libertarian. Our Instagram, the Bitcoin Libertarian. That's all. You can go there and follow us in all our social media.